The brand of this series is to show the process and not the end result. And what I have for you today at the start of this video is different. It's telling you the process, a story time if you will. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode of 10,000 Checkouts.
All right, y'all. So I went back to the mall. I've been trying to get in contact with these people at these stores. They've been acting all type of crazy, like, oh, now we sold out, all that other stuff. So I went to the mall today. I was like, you know what I'm saying? I don't care. I'm coming in person. So I come in person, right? Come in person. So I go to Champs, because I'm like, Champs, they'll probably get the most stock out of Foot Action and Jimmy Jazz, right? So I go to Champs. A man bring in some boxes. I'm like, oh, okay. So I get to looking like I'm actually trying to buy something. Like, I'm looking at shoes. I'm low-key peeping, bro. He opening the boxes. They some regular Adidas. I'm like, bro. So shorty come to me. I done spent like 15 minutes in the store. Shorty come to me. She like, is there anything you need help with? I'm like, y'all got the Carmine 6s? She was like, nah, but Jimmy Jazz got some. I'm like, say less. I said, oh yeah, say less. I walked off immediately. So I walked off. I go to Jimmy Jazz. Jimmy Jazz right down, like literally right across the little hall. Like, you know how malls work. Right across the little walkway. So I go right across the little walkway and I go to Jimmy Jazz. And I asked the man, I'm like, yo, like, y'all got Carmine 6s? He was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. So he was like, oh, you can only get one per person. So I'm like, all right, bet, say less. That ain't no problem. So it was a lady in there. I tried to ask a lady first, and then she was acting like she couldn't hear me. Like she didn't want to do it. She thought it was a scam, you feel me? So I'm like, that's my fault. I shouldn't have just ran up on her, whatever the case might have been. If I'd had my business cards, then, I probably would have been, you feel me? But it's whatever. So I go to somebody younger, because they'll kind of understand a little bit better. So it was this dude with his girl, right? So I walked up to the dude. I was like, they got Carmine 6s right now. I'm trying to get another pair. I pulled my jeans out. Bam. I'm like, look, they got them right here. And then I was like, look, it's the receipt too. Like, I just got this. Like, I just bought this. She's like, you lying. I'm like, how I'm lying? I do YouTube. I showed her my channel, and I showed her my ticket to go pick up my reserve shoes, the 6 and GS. And she like, oh, I guess, you feel me? I'm like, yeah.
What is good, sneakerheads? It's your boy Snkrsloveme. And as you remember in the last episode, I was asking myself, was I going to be able to go back to the mall and get some more pairs after the pickup period? Rest assured, your boy took W. 2 of them actually. So I got a size 10.5 and a size 9. And I had to do, a little loop through Jimmy Jazz. Shout out to Jimmy Jazz. For those of you that don't know what looping is when you bring an extra person or maybe come back in disguise to purchase more than one pair. Sort of like the caveman version of botting. And having multiple pairs of a somewhat hype item, it brought a lot of attention to my page, a lot of DMs, a lot of interactions. And if you didn't know, I have my own sneaker page on Instagram. Follow me at Snkrsloveme. I only have about 100 followers, but I was getting a lot of DMs from a lot of people, friends, family, the whole nine. I only had 2 pairs, so I really had to decide who I wanted to sell to and make connections with, because that's what it's all about. When somebody feel like they can go to you for a guaranteed pair of shoes, you end up building a connection, and that's building clientele. And the best marketing is marketing through customers, not through yourself. Now on to the serious aspect of having multiple pairs. You eventually run into the wall of consignment. To simply explain it, if I sell a shoe on GOAT for $220 and their consignment is 10%, they'll take 10% off of that transaction for the money I receive, leaving me with only $198. Now, as you see, when shoes get a little more expensive, you can see how that gets into the way of profit, as opposed to Instagram, where the only fees the sellers have to pay is shipping. But that's as much as I can get into it in this video. If you guys want a separate video of me explaining selling locally versus selling on consignment apps, comment down below if you want me to make that video. With that, among the couple things I learned about a nifty little website called Pirate Shipping. Now, I'm not getting paid for promo, but when you put out a good service, you get free marketing like this. Power Shipping is a website that makes shipping easy as a seller. You put in your information, then you put in the buyer's information, and it shows you the lowest rate possible for that specific parcel. It's like the further I go down this road, the more I progress. As you can see, I got a new mic stand. This might not mean much to you, but for me, as I edit this video, I have to put a lot of mixers on my videos just to get the audio to sound halfway decent. But with this pop filter and this stand, it makes my setup feel much more professional than before, and it keeps me more focused than I was before. Another thing I was waiting on last week were my business cards. Now, I first thought about business cards not only to market myself, but to personalize my shipping experience for all my customers to keep that clientele coming back. They have yet to arrive. I'll update you when they do, but making steps towards separating my business from others is a way all 13 of y'all keep me motivated and on my toes when it comes down to the business aspect of sneakers. Now, Wednesday is around the time I do future planning for the rest of the week. And if I wanted to make a move for the remainder of the week, I either had Dunk Madness on the 18th, which is Thursday, or the Silver Toe Ones on the 19th, which was Friday. Now, generally with these drops, I tend to prioritize whatever's releasing in stores near me, and the Silver Toe Ones fit that exact description. Meanwhile, the Dunks were more profitable, more lucrative, although you would have to buy, and foot sites have been switching up their security almost every drop. And with my appreciation for taking a safer route, I decided to go full send for the Silver Toe Ones. But sometimes the safer route doesn't produce like you wanted to. I failed to realize that the only store that sold the Silver Toe Ones in my area was the Champs at the mall. I entered the raffle with a highly unlikely chance of getting selected, and I copped that L. It is what it is. So now I'm plotting on the after pickup period method in order to get some pairs of those. If that doesn't work out, I have to look towards the future. Yet again, comment down below if you want a video of me explaining to you what the pickup period method is and how to get shoes locally for retail. Thursday, I'm mainly focused on school to finish my work for the rest of the week. And I most definitely wanted to avoid social media because Dunk Madness had just passed and I don't need all that negativity in my life. To start Friday off, I sold my size 9 Carmines to my dad. He bought them for $300, as you can see in my scout report. My mindset is plan for the future, live in the present, and learn from the past. That's why I'm always planning for the future. But anyways, I have some good news. My business cards finally came in after the tracking page had been glitching for so long. They look amazing in just how I ordered them, but I'll let you guys look for yourself. Business cards aren't the only way I've been trying to separate myself. I've also been working on shipping cards, or that's what I call them. These are really wedding invitations, but I just put my own twist to them. And I've also been looking at packing tape as well. Just stuff that doesn't really interfere with the shoe itself, but just the packaging and the labeling is what I'm trying to leave my mark on. I went back to the mall and didn't get any pairs of silver toes. It is what it is. I'm gonna just charge it to the game. But with that being said, nothing really happened Sunday. It was just me getting up on my schoolwork, nothing really sneaker related. You know, I'm in college, so I have to put school first. As much as I love YouTube, as much as my passion is in sneakers and getting this word out to y'all, I have to do what's best for me first. But that'll conclude it for this week's episode. Next week, I have a surprise for y'all. It should be a movie. But until then, it's your boy Snkrsloveme, and I'm out. Peace.